Okay, so today we're talking about the product engagement template through a course that Section 4 has by Nir Eyal. So let's get right on into it and let me show you how you can use the template. Maybe it's a good idea to actually create a new space. So just follow along here. I'm going to create a space for myself. Take me to Notion. And this will create a blank space. First thing I like to do is clear all templates. And then we can just put some settings here. So for example, let's call this So once we've got that set, we could have changed the icon, but I think that's good enough for now. Now, the one thing I want to do is get rid of this page 2. I'll delete it. So we have absolutely a blank area right now. Now, the one thing you can do is if you fast forward, you'll get a link, a bit.ly link, and you just simply paste it in once you've logged into Notion. And what it does is continuing to external site with the link below. So that's the full link of my template, and you can just grab it from here. So the first step is actually to come up here to the top right and to duplicate it, and let's go ahead and say, let's choose the workspace, and we'll go put it into that new workspace we've created. So there it is there in that new workspace. There's that page that we just had. Let's go, just for a tidy sake, go out and clean it up. And now I can take you through the product engagement template. So for those of you not familiar, this is based on the work by Nir Eyal, made famous in his book about 2016, namely called Hooked. And the whole idea is to run the business model through this circle and increase velocity and just keep moving the user through it through a trigger, action, variable reward, and investment step. And the idea behind this framework is it's taken directly from both the book and some of the coursework on the Section 4 courses that they have, which was a really good one called the Product Engagement Sprint. And so what you'll notice here is the database. Notion has this concept of databases where you can store everything. And so when you get in, you'll find there's one document, a basic template document. And then here you have these sort of tabs, if you will. And these tabs really represent very much the movement through this particular area over here. So you can sort of follow along, but it's got a little bit more detail as Nir goes into somewhat more detail. But you've got triggers, you've got hurdles, you've got actions, rewards, investments, and then finally strategies. So let's talk a little bit about how you actually use this. So if you'll notice here, this has got a header of template, even though it's looking for a behavior. And there's sort of instructions here that I've laid out. So the idea or the recommended approach is to brainstorm 3 behaviors that your firm could habituate, which really means become accustomed to in their users, for their users. And so it gives you the instructions. I'm not going to go through them in great detail, but you can essentially create new documents down below here. Now, the important thing to do is to create a new document up here towards the right where you can reuse my template. And I'll show you the difference in the different new documents. If you click that, you can now put in a behavior, and let's just say, behavior 21, just to make up something. And so here you'll see the basic template, sort of color coded. It has instructions in it. And this is really the area that you'll come in and fill out, and I'll kind of show you how to go about doing that. So if you just simply close that, you've got that new behavior there, and then you've got this basic template which you could leave there. Now, if that ever gets deleted, let's just sort of delete it, and you can just simply go up here and create a new behavior name or template, and I'll just call this template. And the benefit of this template is that it gives you these sort of instructions, so you can keep it handy. Now, as you work through this, for example, let's say we're working on behavior 21, we've now can select a frequency for that behavior, and we can also select the utility of that behavior. You'll see it changes the ordering because the sort is set. So that the idea is you go and you find your highest frequency utility combination, and that becomes the behavior that you sort of focus in on. So now you can go in and you can work through the rest of the sheet, and I'll just show you how that's done. The nice thing is you can keep that template handy, and now when you come into your personas, you've sort of got your instructions over here, which is like, let's get a persona name and so on. So you can just come in here, you can delete this out, and you can just put in my persona name as you please, and you can keep on building this. So it now tells you to apply the 5 whys multiple times to identify the internal trigger. And so you can now go and delete this out. But the nice thing about having the template is that you can always refer to it above here. Again, if you ever lose it, you can create that again. So the idea is that you come into each one of these areas here, you replace what's in here with your own content, following these instructions, and you'll have to have read either the book or gone through the sprint course to really understand the detail. Now, what you'll notice is there's a heading over here called triggers, and that ties in with that header over there. And that's really not somewhere where you would input stuff. I mean, you could input if you wanted to, but it's really like a description of what you should be doing in this particular tab over here. So again, all this area here is where you would input stuff in those blanks. You would just replace those, and this area here you wouldn't really. And so you go on through each of these particular topics, and you would fill it in. So here you're identifying your main hurdle. Where you've got a hurdle type, you see I've pre-populated it with a selection, and in some cases these are multiple selections because you can do that in that for a hurdle type. And then again here for hurdles is a background description. So I like to keep the template in, and so it's always visible, and then I just go and add my behaviors over there. Now, if you type in or hit the new button over here, you get a different sort of behavior, and you can put in your own the next item here, and let's go look at what it actually created. So if I open it up there, and you'll notice that it has the template, but it's really an empty template. It's pretty much a blank template, which you may find suitable for what you're doing. It's just it's deleted all these particular items that we had previously. And so again, my recommended approach is to go in there and click on that behavior name, and now you can type in my next behavior. And you can get into it. So there it is over there. Now, deleting these things is pretty straightforward. You just click on there and you can delete it. And so now you've got, the full capability of using this. Now, it's again, the actions are following the exact template that you would normally do through the book or through the courseware, and it gets into rewards, it gets into the investment and the investment type and the investment design, and then finally it leaves you to develop some strategies, which those of you who have followed the course would be familiar with, and then describe a strategic priority, and then some KPIs, again with some instructions right there out on the right-hand side. Now, something worth mentioning is there's a section down here which is available also with the template. So if you didn't use the template, you wouldn't get it, which is just helps you selecting the most difficult or important step as part of the main hurdle. So here you can go and input the step. You can select a hurdle type from social deviance, non-routine, cognitive, physical, money, or time, and you can rank it. And the whole idea is that this gives you the capability to select the main hurdle that you can work with. And then over here in hurdles, that is the main hurdle there. So you can see here it's saying use the table in the body, steps customers take, establish a main hurdle from the customer's perspective. And so that's where you could then grab, or you could use that area in the main body as your work area and then pull that in over here. And by typing it in or cutting and pasting it in, and then you can again repeat what that hurdle type was. So just as a reminder, if you come in over here, that is found, that little work table is found down here. So it's all contained within the same document. So hopefully that was interesting and useful, and you can try and use that template. You can make it your own. You can customize it if you know Notion. It's not difficult to do. You can change the wording that I've used. You can change these headers. You can really just about go in and change everything else, including the template. But feel free to use it, and just let me know if you have any questions. Would love to hear further feedback. Thank you very much.